welcome back. Our updated chip counts. We've got Ed in the lead with 17,300. Suited Dan in second with 14,100.
And it looks like we have Bobby and Rudy tied in third place or fourth place, depending on how you look. Wait, no, that's an 11,800 for Rudy, and Bobby with 11,000.
No, that's for check rating and all that.
Sue takes down the pot.
It's going to have it every time you're big blind, too.
And to any of the people watching out there, we'd really appreciate any comments you want to post on the Facebook page.
If you want to let us know how bad Paul Boston really is, just go ahead and tell us on our Facebook page.
Oh, don't worry. I know how bad I am.
But we love you all the same. And back to action here. Bobby with a Jack Queen raises.
I think it's a call.
Oh, could be a call. Bobby's big blind, as our dealer points out.
There you go. Yep.
Well, you know.
Walk.
Got to get our bearings again. 16 minutes, 45 seconds left in blinds.
You come back from a break, you just, nap time.
Especially when you drink your dinner.
And lunch. Looks like Bobby will be raising and taking this down again.
Looks like Bobby does raise and takes the pot.
Ed Dak first.
Looks like we have a new player in seat 2.
Probably. When they talk about me training, only looks at me.
Ed was ace 3. Let's see if he raises this up. Yes, he does.
Raised to 1,700.
Bobby gets 7-9 suited on the button. This might be a... I thought he might give a call there.
All players full. Bobby Miller to act first.
No way it goes chippy right there. He's chip leader. Good.
Folks, if you're just tuning in, you can join us every Sunday for the next 11 weeks, and we'll be playing poker, Chase a Bracelet for the who will be the crowning achiever of the bracelet for Season 4.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, but I think we do have 2 champions playing in this game.
Raised to 21 now.
Robert Newman was champion of season number 2, and Paul Moskowitz champion of season number 3.
That is correct. And one of our commentators, too.
We don't have to talk about that. We don't want to make Paul feel bad.
Couldn't make me feel any worse about losing to you.
And then I stick you guys in the same room together.
I think somewhere in the archives of Chase the Bracelet, there's video footage of our first season where you can watch me slowly pass by Paul Boston for the win, hand after hand after hand.
Folds over to Ed.
Ed with an ace in the small blind.
18.
Upstairs.
Raises to 1,800. Bobby lets it go.
I knew we could change that. Check was running good.
Suited Dan with the ace-9. Let's see if he raises it up here.
Suited acts first.
Squeaky good, squeaky wheel.
2,400. Not bad.
Raised to 2,400 by Suited Dan. Suited takes it down.
It's Dempsey. Still like wonders. Were you? Were you behind?
First to act is Ed Wurgler.
They were not suited.
Hopefully we'll get a couple hands together here and see if we can get some action, but doesn't look like it here.
Ed and Bobby fold.
Suited Dan with the best hand out of the big blind.
Raised to 1,700.
Rudy raising with queen 6. I think Dan might give him a call here. Dan's what is known as a defender. He does any reasonable hand, and he likes to call the big blind.
Now, everybody picks a hand where they like to play, and Queen 6 happens to be my favorite.
Oh, really?
Surprisingly, yes.
And Suited Dan just flopped the nuts.
21's the best.
Corey bets out. Corey, I keep calling
Rudy.
him Cordy.
Yeah.
Cordy. His name is actually Rudy.
Playing for Corey.
And Suited Dan has the nuts, and
Pushes all in.
He tries to say...
he might have been worried about a flush draw there.
Rudy can't make this call.
No, absolutely not. He's just Hollywood now, making it act like he had a tough decision.
Rudy folds.
Dan makes a mistake there.
Yeah, with a player like Rudy, he can get very aggressive. He very well could fire on the turn if Dan just smooth calls.
Shuffle. Shuffle.
Making good folds, Rudy. They're making good folds.
Shuffle. Shuffle.
Yeah.
Cut.
Suited Dan.
Deal. I like to call out all the action here on Chase the Bracelet.
First act is Bobby Miller.
Bobby with the ace-7. I'm pretty sure he'll raise this up, and he might get a call from Suited Dan.
Raised to 1,600.
This is one of Suited Dan's favorite hands.
Suited Dan
Jack King
calls.
off. Suited Dan loves Jack King off.
Almost check every time.
And a call by Ed Wurgler.
Wow, that one.
Three players so
maybe
far.
he got priced in because of Dan's call.
Check, check.
Bobby with the best hand.
Bobby bets 2,500.
That's it, and should take it down.
Ed with a gut shot. Throws it away.
Suited Dan with the ace and folds it four-handed on the button. Little surprise there.
Action on Ed Wurgler.
Staring right at me.
Ed folds the small blind.
I like you having that one.
It's a little tight out of Dan
Looking
there.
at you. Staring at you all night. How's that make you
Give my number when you're done.
I know where you live.
Nice. I'll give you a key. Fold.
Action on Ed Wigler.
I think Ed might raise it up here. Rudy might. He just calls. Thought he might raise.
We have 2 players to the flop.
What's up? Read this first. Check.
Both players check. 6 of diamonds hits the board. All in, Rudy. Burton.
36.
Rudy all in with the
55.
best hand. He ought to take it down here. I don't see Ed calling here.
Ed lets it go.
With no draws, Ed definitely has to let go. As much as you don't want to, you never want to let a hand go, but sometimes you have to. Which in my case tends to be a lot.
First act will be Ed Wigler.
Ed with the ace 10. The only one maybe call would be Rudy. Yeah. Raise and take it.
I do believe the points change dramatically with first, second, and third place. So every chip counts at this point in the game.
That makes a difference. And being on the bubble here, too, makes a big difference, too. That'll absolutely slow things down. Rudy with the ace on the button. Crafton suited Dan with the pair.
Raise at 26.
Let's see what he does here. I'd like to see him ship it.
All players fold.
Because that's so far ahead of so many button raises.
Blinds are still 400, 800. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left in the blinds.
I think you're getting a classic race situation, depending on what a flop comes with pocket threes.
Well, the thing is, there's so many hands that he's going to raise and fold to the re-raise, though.
Absolutely. Bobby in big blind with a 7-8 suited.
Ed calls.
Ed just calling with the ace. I like that play every now and then. Because when the ace hits it, they're not expecting it.
Ed flops bottom pair, Bobby with top pair. Ed checks.
800 to bet.
Bobby bets 800.
I bet he gets a call here.
Ed raises to 2,000.
Was not expecting that.
I don't think there's a lot of hands Bobby's afraid of here.
No. Not heads up. You can't.
Bobby moves all in. Ed calls.
Wow. He snapped.
Very aggressive play.
Snap
Ed feels
called
very
him.
confident.
With
And then he
bottom
doesn't
pair.
feel so confident.
Just,
10 of clubs. Jack of clubs.
yeah. Just don't understand that one there.
Another double up for Bobby
I
Miller.
thought he had set. I thought he had set. That's why I was
That's
Very, very dangerous time to double up. Bobby definitely sitting with the largest chip stack now.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
on the nose.
Ed actually knocked out with even chip stacks.
15-4.
Right?
Checking again.
Got him covered by one.
Bobby has Ed covered by 100 chips, I believe.
Wow.
And Suited Dan just sits there like a rock. No remorse.
I'd have to say that puts Bobby in the driver's seat.
Still anybody's game.
Oh, yeah. But with that big a stack,
Now you got to stack.
it's his to lose now. There is a distinct advantage to having the most chips.
Button's on suited. No, button is dead.
You can be wrong and still survive.
Two players so far.
All right, we've got to ask. What was the thinking on that last half?
I thought he was just trying to buy it.
Really?
I really didn't think he had it. Yeah, I thought he was, figured I was just pushing with nothing. I thought he just thought I was pushing with nothing, so I.
Okay.
That's all. It was just a bad read by me, I suppose.
We just had to ask. We were. I'm not shocked you called, but the speed with you called.
Yeah, I actually thought I had him covered too, but
Yeah.
I guess he took down a couple extra pots there, so.
Yeah, he was taking a few down there.
Yep.
Well, not a bad first night, fourth place.
Yeah, could have been better. Could have been better.
Always can be better.
Yep. Just picked the wrong time, I guess. So.
Dan puts an additional raise of 2,100 in there, and Rudy folds.
Why not raise pre-flop?
Yeah.
What's the thought to stay with the ace 3?
Yeah, just smooth called out of the small blind with the ace instead of raising.
I actually thought he might just push or raise there, pre-flop, then I was going to come over the top. That's what I was
Okay.
thinking, because he's been pretty aggressive the whole night.
Yes, he is.
And that time he just checked, so I kind of shot my whole plan.
Put some blinds in that, please.
Then I hit a piece of it there, and I
Blinds.
really didn't think he had it, so thought he was just trying to push me off. So
We might see a big hand here. Bobby with ace jack and suited Dan with ace 10.
One the other per table.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, the action. What's he doing? Raising?
Dan raised. We might see Bobby re-raise here.
Might be heads up after this hand.
Bobby
And
re-raises
Bobby
to
re-raised and
56.
suited Dan went all in.
Yep. Suited Dan all in.
How much more on top?
We'll know here in a minute.
I'm sure he's got the chip to make the
It's
call.
about 7,000, 8,000.
Oh, that sounds like it should be automatic.
11-1.
Oh, I'm sorry, 11,100.
Yeah, see,
That's a
that's
little
not
different.
automatic.
That's a little
Yeah.
different, yeah.
Yeah.
7,000 is one thing, 11,000 is another.
Bobby folds.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a tough call.
it is. Yeah, if it had been $4,000, I think that
Watch out on feet.
Oh yeah, $4,000. He don't even think about it.
yeah.
Suited Dan got
5
away
and
with
10.
him there.
6 and 5 and 10. We're at 5 and 10, guys.
Blinds are up to 500, 1,000. 16 minutes, 33 seconds left in the blinds.
Wow, here we go. Ace 8, pocket
Oh,
nines,
man.
ace deuce. That's some big hands, three-handed.
Ace deuce. Bobby folded.
Yeah.
Rudy is all in.
78 more. 78 more.
7,800 more for suited Dan to call.
That's still a tough call with ace 8.
He's thinking about it, though.
Well, it's suited.
Exactly. He's got that extra 1%. I'll get you every time. Ooh, that's what that is.
I think he needs to let this go. That's a big enough raise where his hands just not.
Suited Dan folds.
Yeah, exactly.
Rudy's showing pocket nines.
Yeah, that's a good fold.
Alright, guys, I'm going to take off.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Good luck next time.
Alright.
See you next week.
Good game. First stack, Bobby Miller.
Rudy in the small blind with ace jack here.
And suited Dan with 2-3 offsuit. Is just begging, please don't raise.
Raised to 5,500.
And he folds.
So
I'm
Suited
surprised
folds.
he looked at the second card.
looks at one, looks at the other. Now at the 3 hour mark.
Dealer button is on Rudy Burton. Rudy Burton to act first.
A lot of times three-handed, it comes down to who wants to be the aggressor first. Any player has the ability to be aggressive. It's just a matter of who comes out saying, I want this pot, and you have to take it from me if you want it.
Yeah, because if you sit around three-handed, you're not going to get big hands often enough to just sit there and wait for big hands. You're going to have to raise with less than premium and
Call by Bobby Miller and a check by Rudy.
And call with less than premium hands.
Both players check. 5 of spades on the turn.
Rudy's got a draw here. I thought he might bet.
Probably looking to take this pot down with a 10 high. Probably underbets the pot.
Bets 1,000.
Wanting Rudy to
Takes it down.
call.
Well, Rudy hit the nut low.
Absolutely. Raz table, here he comes. At this point, it's still anyone's game. One double up for any player is going to be sufficient.
Bobby Miller to act first.
Bobby raises to 2.
I was going to say,
Rudy
I
calls
think
2.
we're going to see a three-way flop here.
Suited
We're
Dan
looking-
calls 2.
At a family pot.
All in.
All in for Rudy Burton.
Bingo.
Suited drops it.
12 high.
Flop and bottom 2 pair. Bobby with a draw. Has to let it go. Rudy's showing his hand.
He does that a lot. When he's got it, he likes to show it, and then when he doesn't, he doesn't show it. He doesn't show his bluffs, but he likes to show it when he's got the big hand. Anyway, you're always thinking when he's got it, he's...
Got it.
Yeah.
Rudy to act first. Suited calls 1,000. Bobby checks his option. $1,000 bet by Bobby Miller.
And Dan lets his queen or his jack go.
Suited Dan to act first.
We're going to raise here? Alright, that's all I like to raise here.
Blinds are currently 500 and 1,000.
Raised to 3,000 by suited Dan. Takes it.
Rudy with the ace. Let's see. I'm sure he's going to raise it up here.
Raised to 3,000 by Rudy.
And suited Dan with the 9-2.
Big buck.
Rudy to act first.
Suited Dan with the ace-king. You going to get tricky, or
3,500's the bet.
he might get a call with the jack-10. Bobby might defend.
It's 2,500 more for Bobby to call. He definitely has the chips to make the call. Well, what does he do here? No, sir.
Let's it go.
Bobby doesn't look very happy with his play. Doesn't look like he wanted to fold there. I think he's trying to feel Dan out.
Well, I think he knows Dan. If Dan's even semi-weak, he's just going to limp there most of the time.
Action on Dan. Call by Bobby. Check by Rudy. Both players check.
Anything over a 10 here is a chop pot.
Rudy bets
Rudy's
2,000.
firing at it. Boy, I'd love to see Bobby pull the trigger here and raise him.
No.
Bobby lets it go. First act is Bobby.
Bobby very eager to start playing some hands. It looks like he's getting fidgety, looks kind of agitated, slamming chips on the almost slamming his chips on the table.
First act is Bobby.
Yeah, he doesn't like to fold.
Bets 2,000. Takes it down.
Big Bob. Big blind Bob.
7 minutes left in this blind. Blinds are 500, 1,000.
I think Bobby will be raising it here.
Call by suited Dan.
Yeah.
35. Oh.
3,500 more for suited Dan to call.
This is the kind of hand Dan likes to play normally.
It's just a lot of chips this late in the game. I think there's probably about 50 to 60,000 total in play.
9 players, starting stack was 6,000.
54,000.
54,000 in play. A little bit higher with chip ups, I'm assuming. So we'll average it to about 60,000. So that 3,500 is actually a pretty big bet this late in the game.
Call by suited Dan. Action on suited Dan. Checks. Both players check.
Check and a check. A 10 hurts. 7 on the turn. Bobby's still with the best hand, but Dan not afraid to bet
3,500.
it with a board like that. Definitely puts Bobby on 2 big cards here.
And that's the kind. He knows that's the kind of board that Crafton's going to call a lot of flops with hands that hit that.
Rudy just sits back patiently and waits.
Bobby Miller all in.
600 and all in.
Wow.
Bobby Miller pulls the trigger. Definitely not shy to make that play.
It looks like he has suited Dan covered.
Doesn't give Suited Dan any credit for that board.
Yeah, and I thought that was all in Dan's wheelhouse. I would have had a hard time doing that.
Dan needing a 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, he's only 20%.
Bobby takes it down.
Nice move.
I think if Dan leads out on the flop there, it might have been a different story.
Hindsight is 10/10.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was still in there. You had me crushed. Jack 10?
Bobby lying his butt off.
Suited Dan all in.
Suited Dan with the call.
He's just
Suited Dan with the all-in. I apologize. Button is on Bobby.
I should have been in that hand by then. It's like, I don't totally screwed that whole
I think we might see Suited Dan all in again here.
Bobby folds.
Mad at myself for putting it down.
Rudy calls. All the kids go in the middle for Suited Dan.
Just under 8.
Rudy Burton folds.
Rudy can't be thinking about that.
Take 5.
Action on Rudy first. Suited Dan calls, big blind.
98 seconds.
Bobby checks his option.
Oh, well then excuse me.
Suited Dan with trip 8.
Both players check. Suited Dan puts a bet of 4,000.
It's full of deuces. Bobby gets rid of it completely. No reason to play.
Action on Dan.
Well, Dan gave him room to try and hit something there, and just didn't happen.
Who's doing that? Hey, you?
PJ.
We are trying to run a respectable show.
Yeah, it's not kiddie playtime.
Didn't know it was on me, so.
Suited Dan calls. Oh, no,
I was distracted by the red light.
Yeah.
Look at the light, look at the light.
Rudy checks his option.
Check.
Both players check. Queen of clubs.
Check. Check. I have king high. Good. Close.
Dan takes it down with king high.
Blinds will be up in about 33 seconds.
How do you know that?
Can you see it, Chris?
Can you see that, Chris?
I can't tell you.
Haha.
Back to commentary.
Yes.
See the shoes.
Chris knew almost to the second what our blinds were.
Ken.
Two players to the flop.
Blinds are up next hand.
600, 1200. Dealer button is on Rudy Burton.
What do you do double up? That's all I
Interesting play there by Rudy. He just calls the king and then leads out with a total bluff. I mean, if you're going to do that, why wouldn't you raise with it?
Bobby gets a walk with ace king.
Double down. Double down. I know about that now.
Do you think blackjack tournament's next? Have you ever been to a blackjack tournament?
I was in the day they were running
They give you some more chip.
Yeah, you bet chips. Whoever has the most chips. Well, you play
We do, in fact, have a bunch of compulsive gamblers in the room.
It's kind of like broccoli.
In the house.
Action on Dan, who folds.
But like people will,
Rudy gets a walk.
People like get a blackjack and they'll double it because the idea is to build up the largest chip stack. So rather than getting paid you 3 to 2, they want to double money on it. So like you sit at a table of 5 or 100 players and sit and you get chips and then you play like 30 hands at that table or whatever, and then whoever has the most chips advances from that table.
Mr. Kraft and Big Ron.
Resident blackjack tournament expert, Ian Crafton.
Bobby folds.
Dan is now a diamond member up at the
Horseshoe Casino Cleveland.
So is
From
so
playing-
is Bobby.
well, Bobby's almost all from playing poker. Dan's is from playing blackjack.
Oh yeah. We're talking about your diamond status.
Bobby raising his fist. He enjoys it.
Get to the hard way. The grinding way. And the friendship. Oh, it's on now?
Sure beats the 10-cent comps per hour at Mountaineer though.
Yeah.
Here at Chase the Bracelet, we try not to degrade any local casino.
Oh, that's right.
However,
I retract that.
Mountaineer right now is paying $5 an hour back at the poker tables.
What are they?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Well, it's a promotion. It's until they pay a certain amount out. And they're still only getting about 3 tables a day.
remember, buy local. Horseshoe Casino Cleveland.
Both players check.
If
Bobby
you do have a
bets.
chance to go, you will see many of our players from the game tonight playing in those games.
Call by suited Dan.
Underneath.
Both players check. Suited Dan takes it down, ace high. Button on suited Dan to act first.
Give me a last time. Give me double up.
Lines are still 600, 1200.
Suited Dan folds. Bobby raises to 2,500. Rudy folded.
I think Suited Dan's going to need a double up here soon.
Action on Bobby.
Very beautiful hand here.
You got just over 10,000.
Depending on how much Bobby makes it to go, Rudy looks like he's going to call.
Raise to 2,400.
Yeah,
Minimum
Rudy's
raise.
calling.
Call by Rudy.
Rudy makes the call, and Dan gets out of the way. 91% for the Kings currently. Horrible, horrible flop for Rudy.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard to get away from.
3 hearts are scary.
That may save him.
Raised to 4,500 by Rudy.
I think Bobby's gonna jam here with the King of Hearts.
King of Hearts and overpair is. I don't know if Bobby's so afraid of the 2 hearts.
All in by
He
Yeah.
goes all in
Yeah.
And a
with
call.
a call.
Wow, nice.
Rudy
Yeah.
definitely disappointed.
Didn't put you on king.
Yeah, Rudy's drawn slim.
Another heart.
3 of hearts
That
for the
does
win. The handshake.
Thanks, sir.
Rudy out in third place.
And
Playing for Corey.
Rudy with a valiant effort.
Corey will be quite excited about third.
Yeah, draw for button.
That
Well, you want to chop?
That did the heads up. Bobby
11
with,
minutes.
With a great
You
chip
got an
in.
offer, right? Because when I beat you, you're going to be like wishing you took that.
Dan asked for a chop.
Chris, who's the big blind?
No, Dan didn't ask for a chop. He offered a chop.
Chris, who's the big blind?
Who's the big blind? Who do you want to be the big blind?
Saying it's the button. Are you really
the button is
Dan.
always small blind.
Button is small blind, correct. Bobby will be first to act. Pre-flop, post-flop, Dan will have the action. The typical heads-up conundrum.
Well,
First
I
act.
think there was a mistake made there because that puts Dan in the big blind twice, and you can't do that.
Drew for button. In drawing for button, it definitely threw it
Oh.
off. There should have been a play with a dead hand. However, no one's perfect.
Together?
Well, how was your first Chase the Bracelet experience, Rudy?
I enjoyed it. It's different. I've never done it before, so it was kind of fun.
It's pretty fun. It is. I played the first season. I haven't played it since, but
No.
You are 12.
You'd rather do this?
I enjoy this. I really do. Yeah, I like this a lot better. Might be because I play so bad.
I would second that.
Draw that.
I finished,
All in?
I finished second the
Suited
first
Dan is
season
all in.
to him.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
It's like 9.
Well, I know you're a good, solid player. I just,
Yeah, that
Okay. Bobby folded.
you didn't give much thought to folding there, huh?
you know what?
Even with the hearts out there.
I didn't put him on hearts, and I put him on a big ace, and I figured I had the hand. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
expected him to probably raise with kings,
Right.
and he didn't. So he made a good play. So
Yeah, as soon as that board came out, we knew there could be fireworks.
yeah. As soon as I hit the
Bobby
queen.
raises
Yeah, you hit the
2,500.
king. He's got overpair and the flush draw.
Suited
Oh,
Dan calls.
he's not going.
Yeah, no, he's not going in.
I got crushed.
Not
Which is
much you
all right.
can do. Yeah.
I liked it though. It's good. If I'm going to go out to the best hand. Nobody's sucking out on you.
So Bobby flops 2 pair here.
Bet of 2,000 by Bobby.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of gambling you can do.
Suited folds.
he can't fold too many. Can we get a chip count on Crafton?
5 was good.
Just under 10.
5 was good.
Just under 10,000.
Just under 10,000. So Bobby's got about a 5-to-1 chip lead here.
You're not folding like.
That was a terrible hand. You called a raise?
8 minutes, 45 seconds left in the blinds. Blinds are 600, 1,200.
Just
I
crack.
guess that was my fault, wasn't it?
Well, there was a few other people giving him chips too.
Jam.
Suited Dan all in.
Yeah, he's got to double up twice.
Bobby fold.
Getting so close now. Like, I really could be falling with these hands. You don't even know. I had a big one that one. Big one, I ain't fall. It was just below my...
You were making some good plays out there for a while,
80% chip lead.
and surprisingly, you made some bets with like second pair and bottom pair.
Right.
You were always good.
Was I?
Every time you did it.
What? It's hard to hit the board.
Oh yeah.
Bobby folds.
Well, the one hand there was 3 people in the hand. All of you had 4s, and you all flopped the 4.
Oh, really?
The case 4 hit.
And they folded to my bet?
Yeah, they folded to your bet. Or no, Bobby bet and you raised.
Oh, yeah. He didn't like that too much.
No, but he had to fold. No, Bobby never likes folding.
I've never played him before, so.
Action on
You know,
Dan.
some of these guys are from other places I play, but
Bobby used to play in the Akron Poker League a lot, but since the casino opened, he spent most of his time in the casino. Yeah, he plays in the Norton League.
Bobby's famous. That's about it.
All in.
Players all in.
Bobby messes all in.
Come up.
Fold by suited Dan.
I think we're going to see a lot of that. Bobby just forcing Dan to have a hand. Yeah.
Action will be on Dan.
Dan's at the point I don't know if I could fold anything. If he goes here, Bobby will call.
All in by suited Dan.
Bobby will
Call
call.
by
Yes. Yeah.
Shit.
I knew when I saw Bobby
King
with
Jack
a king,
suited.
I knew he would call.
Just get an 8.
how many times you hit the bottom card though,
No,
on that?
Oh, that's good. Both of them look like an 8. That's
Oh, wow.
a little bit better for you. I mean, we're both... It's not as good. It's clean. No, it's just a...
Another ace.
You playing the board?
No, I think my king sticks.
suited Dan doubles up.
It's gonna be 82, Bob. Total.
8,200. Shipping over to Dan.
Wow. No, I haven't played for real.
No, looks good.
Good. Well, I like those kids anyway. Yeah.
Dan doubles up again, and it's going to be pretty close. He may even have the chip lead if he doubles up again.
Look at that one.
Staying here. What's trying to say no?
No.
5 minutes, 38 seconds left in the blind.
You're at 16 now?
So it's hard for you guys to see what the blinds are. Is that the time?
Yeah, we
you
can
don't see it.
Yeah, we can't see the.
Raise 25.
Bobby raises 2,500.
Call.
Call by suited Dan.
Check.
See how it's.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we can't see.
What makes it do that? You know?
Something with the way they got that cameras. I think suited Dan's gonna have to just make another stand here.
Button is on Dan.
Walk. Please do. Walk. I have 10 right there, so. I have jet 10. That's clean, dude. I need to go.
Yeah, I think suited would have shoved there.
Suited gets a walk.
Any ace, I think he's gonna go all in.
I think I'm going to go ahead and take off, guys.
All right.
I
Well, it was
appreciate
nice having
I
you.
appreciate the time. I enjoyed myself.
And
You guys got a great setup here.
thanks. We'll keep you in mind for
Anybody
anybody else who needs a set.
It's nice stuff. You remember that moment? Heads up, dude.
See you later. Hey, Rudy.
We'll get back to that. You just salvaged over there. I was like, please do something. Please have a Dan limit. 6. Dan limit. King 6.
Bobby Miller back first.
Range for 2,500.
Suited Dan throwing away the best hand. Yeah, see, that's what I think. Bobby's just going to whittle him back down again. Unless suited makes a stand real
Typical
soon
heads
here.
up play
Yeah.
when the big stack leans on the short stack. The toughest decision is obviously for all your money, so if Bobby can make him commit most of his chip stack,
All in.
it makes it a
Suited
lot
We
harder
can't
for
see any
Dan to
cards.
make a decision.
Guys, leave your cards back on the dot. Card on the dot. It's gonna be 12.
Suited with an ace.
There we go.
Bobby may call with 2 face cards. It's about a 60-40.
Alright, this is mini 12 on that.
Yeah,
Miller
boy.
folds.
Bobby lets it go. It's the right play mathematically. However, it's a tough play when you're sitting in his position with all those chips.
See you, Rudy.
Your big arms.
Action on Miller.
Call.
Just a call.
Go ahead.
Dan checks. Both players check.
You check to him twice. Bobby's going to bet.
Well, you have to know at this point that your opponent doesn't have any cards.
Yeah.
Action on Dan.
Bobby's going to raise this up.
Call by suited Dan.
$25 more.
25 more.
Call.
And Dan
And
will
call.
call with position.
First buy.
Dan the second pair.
3,000. All in.
Player moves all in. Bobby calls.
Bobby calls with 2 overs and a gut shot.
Bobby's slightly behind.
Hits his straight.
King on the turn. Bobby takes it down.
Well, that's all for night 1.
Bobby Miller
Takes it down.
takes down game number 1. Suited Dan in second place. Thank you for joining us at ChaseTheBracelet.com. Again, if the fans could follow us on Facebook and leave comments, that would be wonderful.
Have a great night.
I'm Chris Ward.
I'm Paul Boston.
Thanks.
Thank you.